The school governing body at Pretoria Girls High is taking the Gauteng Education MEC, that's Matume Chulwane, to the High Court in Pretoria following an investigation into alleged racism at that school. You might remember 12 students were suspended back in July due to these claims. The governing body contends that the investigators exceeded their mandate by addressing issues beyond the scope of the allegations themselves. Watching developments is SABC News reporter Patricia, who's stationed outside court and joins us now live. I remember, Patricia, when we finally heard the outcomes of that investigation, part of what was contained in that report is that apparently some of the black teachers, okay, it seems Patricia might not be able to hear us. We'll try to reestablish that connection for you. But the claims entail the fact that some of the black teachers apparently weren't greeted by their white colleagues because the white teachers thought they were cleaners. It's a claim, of course, that was completely pushed back against. And I suppose that's why there's this legal action. Patricia, help us break down why exactly we're in court today.
Outside of the Pretoria High Court, of course, the Girls High racism allegation matter now taking its toll in court. Of course, inside the matter has already started, but ultimately it is the school SGB taking the Gauteng Education MEC to court in terms of how the matter was handled, but also some discrepancies with how the findings of this particular investigation and of course the disciplinary hearing, you would know that those particular students, matriculants in particular, were subjected to a disciplinary hearing. It happened shortly before they started their exams around August. Of course, they were exonerated, but ultimately some of the matters that the SGB, the parents felt that, the matter was dealt with prematurely. They didn't like how the education department handled the matter, but some really believing that there was no matter to handle to begin with. There was no racism, and just saying that their children were unfairly treated. I'm now joined by the Gauteng Education spokesperson, Steve Mabona. Steve, this is a matter that seems like it's not going away. We thought it was closed. Of course, the DCs happened. The matriculants at the time were found not guilty of any racism-related conduct. But the SGB, they reopening this matter in court today.
Yes, it's quite unfortunate that the SGB will take us to court. But yes, we are here. Our legal representation is here. We'll defend the case because they are bringing this matter as a matter of urgency. They want to be heard urgently. And secondly, they want to review the outcome of the investigation. And they also want us to provide them with a report. I mean, we are saying if you want the report, there's processes. I mean, you just apply. If we can give you a report, then we'll probably do that. You don't need to bring us to court. And if you want to review, how do you then want to review something that you don't have? Because they are saying they don't have a report, but they want to review the outcome. So we'll hear insight on how the matter will be ventilated, and we'll take it from there.
So why was the report not released to the SGB, perhaps to the parents of the implicated learners from the beginning, so that they can see what that report contained, and perhaps that would satisfy them when they have the facts before them? Why did the department not immediately release the report to them?
No, we don't normally release these reports. When we do an investigative report, we don't release it. What we do is to give a summary. A summary will then give you an indication of what the report might have. But remember, the report will also have confidential information. It will have information, of people that you will not just disclose without consent. So all that will then dictate that we will not release a report. But if the application is brought to us and there's justifiable reasons why we must release a report, we normally do release a report.
Some feel that there was no basis for the Gauteng Education Department to start the investigation, to look into the matter. They feel that it was premature, it was political, and therefore you subjected minor children, although yes, matriculants, but they still minors under the law, and you subjected them to unfair treatment. As the Gauteng Education Department that was tasked with this difficult situation at the time, because there were people, learners at the school who brought their complaints forward. What would you say? What were the foundation reasons, if you just reiterate that for us, that made it compelling for the department to institute those investigations?
No, but don't mix the issues. Remember, the issue of 12 learners was ventilated at the school by the SGB themselves, because those complaints were brought, to their attention. They, conducted that investigation, and they exonerated the learners. And after that, we did say that we accept their decision. But subsequent to that, we had, complaints from parents, from employees at the school, from many stakeholders who said, yes, we can see what the SGB has taken a decision that they've exonerated children, but there are issues. There's many things that are happening at the school which, justify that you must really look into them. Then hence the MEC then took that decision to say, let's then have an independent body who's going to go there and investigate, at this entirety, so that after that we know that we won't have anything, because we could not leave it, because parents and some learners who were not satisfied, they kept on sending messages, to the department, and we had to do something about it. So let's not conflate issues. The 12 learners, that matter, it doesn't arise here.
But we're not talking about, I asked what made it compelling for the department to start the investigation, because there are some people who have queried that, who have disputed that. That is actually the issue that we want you to stand here and obviously remind us why it was necessary to go that route, so that the confusion, if there is confusion in society, that can be put to rest. That's why I'm asking you to bring that back, so that people understand that it was not as straightforward as they perhaps thought at the moment, or some may even believe currently.
No, definitely, you are correct. That's why I must clarify it, so that anyone that is watching can understand that the issue of 12 learners was dealt with, and was not dealt with by the department for that matter. It was dealt with by parents, and we left it at that, and then we accepted their decision. But subsequent to us receiving a lot of complaints about many things that were happening at the school, then we decided that let's then go and investigate. And surely we find a lot of things which some dictated that we must take action, because we couldn't leave some of the things that were revealed by a report to say we are not doing anything because we were investigating allegations of racism. But now that we found that there's a lot of things that are going wrong in the school, which our employees are implicated. Remember, those employees are not SGB employees, they are our employees. And if there's a lot of allegations which are put on their table, then they must be tested. Then that's when our labor will then have to do their work in terms of conducting the investigation and giving them an opportunity to come and respond to the charges that were conferred to them.
Talking about the employees, the school principal was suspended for 3 months. Just remind us what's the latest in terms of her situation. What happened after that? Just bring us back into the picture. Where matters currently standing in terms of the school principal at Girls High?
No, the principal is our employee. She's back at work. She's working. But the parallel process of consequence management continues. Remember, it doesn't affect her only. There are other employees that were identified, and that process continues parallel to them working. They will not, interfere with that process. That's why we felt that they must come back and be at school.
And are there other things that the department is looking at currently, or are you just now focusing on this court case?
No, we are done with that. The report was brought to our attention. The case was closed there, and we had to do the departmental work, and we continue. We now focus on this case, which is quite unfortunate, we must say, but we'll hear.
All right, thank you so much. Steve Mabona, he is the Gauteng Education Department spokesperson. Inside, of course, the matter is being heard. It is brought to court on the basis of urgency, because we'll see what happens inside. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to take our cameras in as the media. The judge did not give permission, saying that we were supposed to bring a 24-hour notice or application, rather, which the media houses did not do. But of course, we'll be inside just to listen and hear what exactly the arguments contain and in which direction this particular matter goes.